We've been through a lot to get to where we are. I'm very thankful
Crystal
for it.
snores.
No, shut up.
Sorry.
No, we've been through a lot of ups and downs. It wasn't easy being, especially when we did make things official, it wasn't easy being a black man dating a white woman.
Right. And which is weird, especially
Living in the Northeast.
Yeah, in the Northeast. Not only that, we'll still get weird looks in New York City.
Terrible.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is New York City. Like
Doesn't matter.
everybody and everything is here and accepted. Like,
yeah, and we're both from cities.
Right.
You know, we weren't from like a little suburb. We were both from larger cities, and we still get.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of cities, I ain't gonna name the city. We're not gonna call anything out.
We don't want to call it out, but we're.
I remember when Crystal first brought me to her hometown, and I'm guilty. I was pretty judgmental. I was like, it was probably like a lot of grass.
He thought it was Greenwich, Connecticut. Let's be honest. I
Greenwich.
said Connecticut,
Greenwich.
and he thought it was Greenwich, and it was far from Greenwich.
It was far from Greenwich.
Far from Greenwich.
So she's like, oh, no. I remember you're like, no, I grew up in the hood. And I'm like, sure you did. And she's, we went to hang out one night in your hometown. I remember when we got off that exit.
Goosebumps.
First of all, I was like, am I home? Is this Yonkers?
And then he locked the doors.
Yeah.
To make sure.
Yeah, I locked the doors.
Yeah, it was.
That red light was taking too long.
Yeah.
I could. How did you come out of there? Like the way because you did well for yourself.
Thankfully, yeah.
Even now, I'm sure when you tell patients, you told me a few stories when you told patients
when I tell them where I'm from,
where you're from, they're like, no way.
Yeah. That goes back to, I think, my father's work ethic.
Okay.
One of the biggest things was similar to how you are, is get your grades up, and I don't care about anything else. He really instilled that for me. And my ticket out was my education. That's how I knew. My dad owned a small business for many years. My mom would help him in the business, and then really just was chauffeuring my sister and I around, and homework and dinner and cleaning and et cetera. But I knew my ticket out of that town and my freedom was education, because I couldn't just ask my parents to pay for college. I had to get
like
scholarships and
things,
grants,
right.
and the only way I could do that was to be
But you knew that at a young age. Like, that's commendable, because not a lot of teens realize oh no, I need to better myself. I need to get out of here. A lot of teens, they usually fall victim to not circumstances. I don't want to say,
you almost get stuck going back home.
Yeah, you get complacent, and you see what's going on around you, and that's all you know. You feel like,
right. I mean, again, my parents were a great help. Right. My father's emphasis on education was huge. But yeah, no, I think I wanted to, live. I wanted to go live in New York City. I wanted to go travel. I wanted to go, and I knew that I couldn't do that without.
What age did you realize that?
Probably the beginning of high school. Like, that's when things.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. When I was like, I can't stay here. I got to get out of here. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Because even now, when we go back, like when you go back home to your hometown, like, what do you always tell me?
I hate this place.
Yeah, no. Could you say I love this place?
I say I got a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm from Yonkers, New York. Like, it's, every city obviously got a good side and a bad side,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
We didn't grow up on the good side. Yeah. So, like, even today I was driving through there, and I was talking to my boy Dawood. Shout out to Dawood too. And we're just kind of voice noting back and forth. and in between, we're talking about podcasting, and I'm like, man, this city's so depressing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I drove through Getty Square, and I'm just like, oh man, and you thank God because not a lot of people come out of that.
Right. Especially too, you've made for our family huge strides, and now we live, not for nothing, but we live in the sticks. We live in the middle of nowhere, and we're very lucky with everything that we have, and we're very blessed.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God, and your hard work. I think that also
our hard work.
Oh.
You like that, fellas? Always give her credit.
But honestly, there's a big difference. Even when I go back home to see my parents and my family, it's easy, it's comfortable. It's so and then I'm like, yeah, no, it's time to go. I want to go back home.
100%.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I visit my friends, and sometimes flashbacks come, and my anxiety goes up, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Can we meet somewhere else, please?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not all negative,
but at the same time, it taught you things,
Right.
And I appreciate that as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It gave me and you, I'm sure, the work ethic, that drive.
Absolutely.
So I'm definitely appreciative.
And what we give our kids in return because of that, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.